Hello and welcome to the Pharmacy Informatics Professor 2020 with your host, Dr. Armin Simonian. If you think that there is no intrigue, controversy, high finance, and drama in the area of pharmacy informatics, then think again. Today I want to talk about an interesting topic. This is something that I started hearing about 6 years ago, and it is the ingestible sensor, or the digital pill, or what we call a smart pill. And what this entails is the patient actually swallowing the medication, which has in it ingestible sensor. And then when that product hits the stomach acid, there's a reaction that occurs. There's a magnesium and a copper layer, and it creates an anode and a cathode, basically a small battery, which for about 3 or 4 minutes can power a little chip that's also in the ingestible sensor. And that sends out a unique code to a patch that's worn on the body that can pick up that signal. And then that patch can actually send that information over to a smartphone. So very interesting. And there was a lot of promise about what the possibilities are for the future. We all know that adherence is a huge problem with medications. And so if you have a tracking device that can tell you exactly when a patient took a medication, then that really will help with looking at adherence and seeing how our patients are doing, and maybe provide areas of improvement and counseling for our patients. And so let's talk a little bit about smart pills in today's Journal Club, and I'll bring up some articles that deal with this and give you a little bit of a timeline so that you can see what's going on in this interesting area of pharmacy informatics. So this is an article that was published in AJHP, a little news note. And this was back in 2016, and it talked about this ingestible sensor that was being created by a company called Proteus. And as I explained, it creates a little battery in the stomach acid, and the little embedded chip can transmit information. And there was a lot of promise. A lot of people were hopeful that this could be applied to a lot of different medications and provide a great aid in tracking our medication administrations and adherence. And the first drug that was being used with this ingestible sensor was Abilify, or aripiprazole. And a company called Otsuka Pharmaceutics, or pharmaceutical company, this was the first manufacturer that was using this ingestible sensor technology to help with our psych patients with the adherence to their medication, aripiprazole. And in November of 2017, this medication was approved. This was the first drug in the US that contained a digital ingestion tracking system, as it was called by the FDA. So this was our first smart pill that was approved by the FDA. That was in November of 2017. Now, an article came out in the British Medical Journal, and this was in December of 2019. And this was where the drama started coming in. This was kind of a very critical article. And what they were saying here, they did a literature review, and they found all the research that had been done on the digital pill. And they also looked at something called spin. So spin is when you take a news item and you always create a favorable a twist to it. And so basically what they were saying in the article is that if you look at their notes, there was very weak evidence for the FDA to actually approve this medication. They could not find a lot of good studies to prove that this was beneficial in terms of medication therapy and even adherence. And they talked about this issue of evergreening. So when you have a medication that's produced by manufacturer, the manufacturer has a patent on that medication, and for the next number of years, they exclusively can sell that medication under the brand name. And then when the patent expires, as we've seen with many, many drugs over the years, then the generic houses will come out and produce a generic version of the drug that's usually cheaper. And at that point, the original manufacturer has that drug off patent, and they don't have the benefit of the protection of being the only ones that are selling that drug. And what this article was saying was that Otsuka was using this ingestible sensor technology and the approval of this new drug form to actually evergreen their product, which means provide some exclusive selling of aripiprazole with the sensor and kind of give new life to the patent on that drug. So a little bit of drama and controversy. And, you know, it's rare to find a research article like this where they're giving opinions. It's almost like an editorial about, you know, what the company's motives might be behind the scenes. And so here's where some of that drama and intrigue comes in. So Proteus, in September of 2020, there was this article written about Proteus, and they actually went into bankruptcy. So this is a company that had raised about $500 million. And there was, as I said, high hopes for this ingestible sensor technology. And they actually worked with Otsuka to come up with the first digital pill, which was FDA approved and is still being sold. But the company was not able to really get that launch, really, really realize the potential benefits of using these ingestible sensors. And so after a lot of trial and error and not making a lot of money, they went into bankruptcy. And Otsuka actually bought the company, which at one time was valued at $1.5 billion. And the company, the pharmaceutical company, actually purchased or took it out of bankruptcy. And the price tag on that for the pharmaceutical company was only $15 million. So pretty interesting how much money was invested in this, the kind of high finance, and what happened. A little bit of a false start, but it's still very interesting, the concept, the technology, and it might be one of those things that even with self-driving cars, we have them out there now and they're being tested, but maybe not really ready for prime time. It's going to take a little bit more research and tweaking and really some different approaches to really get it fully off the ground to make sure that it's self-driving cars are safe and effective. And I think we can kind of relate that here to this digital health smart pill technology, where it's out there, it's being used. There's a drug that's using this technology, but maybe not totally ready for prime time where we could apply it to other medications and really start to research and verify the benefits of using this technology. So I went out to Lexicomp and I actually looked for Abilify MySite, which is the, as they say here, aripiprazole tablets are also available with an embedded device that tracks drug ingestion using a smartphone app. And so the Abilify tablet actually has the built-in ingestible sensor with the battery and the computer chip. And it will track and record every time the patient takes the medication. And the little battery is activated within the stomach acid. Signal is sent out. And so the patient wears a little patch, a little sensor, and that information can be transmitted to the smartphone app. So if you want to read more about Abilify MySite, you can just research it on Lexicomp. And you can also go out there and read news articles about how this all came together. Very interesting, fascinating kind of history. And as I said, you know, pharmacy informatics can be pretty exciting with a lot of high finance and drama and intrigue and controversy, as we've seen in this journal club presentation about using an ingestible sensor along with our medication therapy. All right, so if this was an interesting topic for you, please like the video and subscribe to my channel, and I'll thank you for that. And in the meantime, stay safe, stay healthy, look after the health of others, and I'll continue to work on more episodes, and I hope to see you next time. Take care.